again, guys.
When I saw Forrest post, I think Popeye is late,
Yeah.
I started looking at the console.
Okay.
Now, I want you all to know I'm just the passenger.
Yeah. Okay, let us ask you again, guys. When NAPA talks, are you hearing an echo?
Yeah, I'm here.
Because we can fix that real quick if you are hearing an echo in the audience. Talk a little bit, NAPA, so they can.
All right, well, let me just kind of start off then. I
Okay.
had one of my hounds sent me a couple of pictures this morning. Whenever he got up, walked outside, he had 3 wetbacks sitting on his back porch. He called the border patrol. Last he saw, they were chasing him across.
Yeah. All right. We're going to fix something real quick, NAPA.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that fixed it last week.
Okay, that fixed it again. So
Yeah.
we do have some new headphones, and so this will take care of the problem. Everybody in the chat line, you should not be hearing an echo now. You should not be.
Right.
Go ahead and say he shouldn't have an echo now.
No, I don't have an echo now, I don't think.
I'm waiting for him to tell us.
Well, they may be talking about Napa having an echo because he doesn't have headphones on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but now it's not echoing. Before I could hear it, but now I can't hear it echoing. So I
Yeah.
think I got rid of it.
Okay.
Okay, brain damage says no echo now, so we're good to go, I do believe. All right, go ahead and tell us what you're saying again.
I had one of my club hang-arounds that texted me some pictures this morning, and when he got up and walked outside about 6 o'clock or so, he had 3 wetbacks sitting on his back porch, and took a picture of them and called the Border Patrol. And he said last time he saw him, the Border Patrol was chasing him across the country on horseback.
Mm.
So anyway, I said, well, I should have just pulled your gun out and held him there. And he said, well, I didn't think about it at the time. He said, next time he will. He didn't think they would run, but as soon as they saw the Border Patrol, they took off.
Oh, they did. Instead of saying, here, take me.
Yeah, instead of surrendering. And that's one that kind of leads into something today. My contact with our sheriff's department today was telling me that these people are getting more desperate. They're the ones that are coming up through the port of entries. Yeah, they're turning themselves over to ICE or Border Patrol or whoever. But the ones that are coming up through the country, through the mountains, across the river, staying away from the ports of entry, they're trying to get in here every way they can, and they're running. We had one last week that had stolen a vehicle and blew the Border Patrol checkpoint over at Sierra Blanca and jumped off the highway in Sierra Blanca. A deputy was after him, and he got far enough ahead, he made a U-turn, and he did a head-on collision with the deputy.
Really?
Luckily nobody was hurt, but they are definitely trying to get away now.
Wow. Hey, you guys, what I was saying to NAPA early on, and just in case you didn't hear it, I was talking about a video we showed last night, and it was a Fox News video where they showed 300 people on the other side of the gate, and the way they described it on the news channel was that, hey, these people were forcing their way in. Well, my eyes saw something different. What I saw was the DPS and the Border Patrol opening the gate and just letting people walk in. Now, Greg Abbott told us he was sending the DPS and all these other law enforcement agencies there to arrest people for trespassing. And NAPA, I guess, unless they're on somebody's ranch or something like that, they're not going to get. They're just going to be brought in.
No, if they're coming in through the ports of entry, they're just letting them come on through, and they might take their name or whatever, but they're just turning them loose or sending them up to Laughlin Air Force Base and flying them to the interior of the country. They're not doing nothing with them at the border.
You know what
they catch that. My deputy was telling me that the ones that they catch and they arrest or detain, they don't arrest them because if they arrest them, they got to do all the paperwork stuff. They detain them and call the Border Patrol. Border Patrol comes and picks them up, but all they do is take them back to the port of entry, kick them loose on the bridge and say go back to Mexico. Well, hell, they're just going to turn right around and come back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Are they fingerprinting them?
No, I don't know that. I'll find out before our next show.
Okay, because that would be the first thing I would do if I was governor of Texas. Anybody that comes across that border, I'd take their fingerprints. And there's nothing wrong with that. We got to know who these people are and where they're going and what they might be doing.
Yeah, that don't violate anybody's rights. I know I've been fingerprinted a number of times to have to get a security check, security clearance or whatever, so my fingerprint's on a file somewhere.
Yeah, I have too. I've been fingerprinted multiple times because of my service, because the aircrafts I worked on, numerous times. So that I do believe that should be done when we're bringing people into this country when we don't know who in the hell they are. And and like I said last week, OG, or it may have been just 2 days ago because I'm getting mixed up on it, what I have said, but I do believe that the president, this current president, whatever he is, a lot of people have different opinions about that, but he and his minions and the military and hey, look, all the Border Patrol, everybody, they're helping circumvent the laws of this country. And to me, they're breaking the law. And I'm talking about the number one guy in the land that's supposed to be the commander-in-chief.
Yep.
I don't believe there's any way in hell he should be getting away with what he's doing. And it's up to us to stand up and start bitching about it. Or at least in the states that are concerned, file charges against him. I don't think there's nothing to stop us from doing that. Nothing.
But I have a question.
Go ahead.
The question being, and we've talked about this before, like when the Supreme Court makes a ruling.
Yeah.
Or a judge makes a ruling. Who the hell do they have to back up their ruling? If you think about it, the Supreme Court has nothing.
Yeah.
Who's in charge of the military? Under whose purview does that fall? The White House.
Yeah.
The Commander-in-Chief.
Yes.
Department of Justice. Now, even though they can't openly dictate what in the hell the Department of Justice does, it still falls under the executive branch. They're appointed by the president.
Yeah.
Everybody, virtually everybody outside of the executive branch is toothless.
Yeah.
If you really think about it.
Yes.
The Supreme Court, so something comes up with Biden or whoever, who the hell has the authority to send in anybody to take action? They don't. They don't have anybody to back them up.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of law clerks.
Yeah.
So, and then, to me, that's a great mystery as to how the hell all that works when the shit hits the fan.
You remember when I asked our political consultant who watches the president? What if he goes rogue, which has happened?
Yep. Happening.
Who is it that takes care of him? If you know what I mean.
It's supposed to be Congress, but they don't do their job.
Well,
either.
what happens when they've gone rogue? Because what we've had happen is a government that includes the White House, that includes the Congress, that has included the Senate at times.
And the Congress is currently being run by Amazon.
Yeah, and the military, they seem to have gone rogue. They don't understand the Constitution. They're ignoring it. And so now we have all these law enforcement agencies that's just falling in line. And then we have state governments that are falling in line. And so, we're in a rudderless ship right now. Is what we're in. That's orchestrating our own demise.
Hey, I think they figured it out before we did.
Yeah.
That they've got all the control, and that's why they are just in your face with blatant violation of the Constitution.
Yeah. Speaking about violations and all that kind of crap, what's going on in Australia is really something. We're going to show you this video. Hey, watch this, NAPA. This is kind of interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, here we go.
Today, in Sydney's Daily Telegraph, Brisbane's Courier Mail and the Gold Coast Bulletin, I didn't write the headline of the story. The editors headlined it, "Suspension of Belief, Overlooking Facts and Failing to Have Proper Conversations." Now, in other words, I am arguing that what we are forbidden, what we are prevented from telling you, which I believe you're entitled to know, but unless you toe the line, you're cancelled. For example, in that article I mentioned, the New Zealand Prime Minister, I've already referred to this, Jacinda Ardern, who this week urged New Zealanders to, quote, "take all non-government information with a grain of salt, dismiss anything else. We will continue to be your single source of truth."
Sound familiar, guys? We're the single source of truth. It's kind of what we got going on here. Let's go.
And that New South Wales Health Minister, who's become a health hazard, has said the same thing arrogantly and dismissively, arguing, dismiss the ideas that aren't based on science or medicine. I mean, that's nonsense. On so many issues, science is never settled. Science is about testing theories, challenging received truths. There's no one science on climate change, coronavirus, vaccination, or masks. Testing a plurality of views is what we should be doing. Are we saying in 2021 we should be denied those views? Jacinda Ardern says...
Hey, if you remember, the science back many decades ago said the Earth was square.
Yeah, and we only had 10 or 12 years left.
Yeah. So the science is all over the damn place. Let's go.
...of her government will continue to be your single source of truth. The United States President is telling big tech to get on side with government and censor voices the government doesn't like. This is nothing more than a crackdown on the free exchange of ideas. We are in deep trouble when the leader of the world's democracies, America, is instructing private companies to abridge the freedom of speech and of the press to the point where big private companies are acting as functionaries of government. The journalist Glenn Greenwald, who helped publish the whistleblower Edward Snowden's surveillance abuse in 2013, called the union of corporate and state power, and I quote, one of the hallmarks of fascism. I've said many times, the real pandemic is the failure of a politically correct society to give the public access to a plurality of views. Well, enter again into this field the cognitively declining President of the United States. This bloke continues to get a saloon passage, a free run. His incoherence is unchallenged. Here he is talking to a CNN town hall meeting. Now, of course, CNN are mouthpieces for Biden. And you'll see here another example of embarrassing, stumbling incoherence. He's asked, what's your message to parents and educators about kids returning to school when kids under 12 are not yet vaccinated? Listen to the President of the United States.
Everyone under the age of 12 should probably be wearing a mask in school. That's probably what's going to happen. Secondly, those over the age of 12 who are able to get vaccinated, if you're vaccinated, you shouldn't wear a mask. If you aren't vaccinated, you should be wearing a mask.
Well, the WHO and UNICEF have guidelines on wearing masks. Quote, children aged 5 years and under should not be required to wear masks. This is based, they say, on the safety and overall interests of the child and the capacity to appropriately use a mask with minimal assistance. The guidelines go further. For children aged 6 to 11, masks are recommended in classrooms only if the school is located in a locality where there is widespread transmission, and only after consultation with parents and weighing the impacts on learning and psychosocial development. What's the President saying? Everyone under the age of 12 should be wearing a mask. That's not what UNICEF or the WHO are saying, and not a word about consulting with parents or the impact on learning and psychosocial development. Who is fact?
You know, you gotta love Sky News out of Australia. Those guys tell it like it is. They're straight shooters. I mean, God, Alan Jones is that guy's name, and you know, he's always on top of things, and he tells the truth no matter what his government is saying, no matter what they're saying. And that stuff that they just said, the government is the only source of truth, is BS, because we have enough lying going on, not only in this country but around the world, by all these social misfits. So it's incredible what we're seeing. And I know that skipped ahead to the vaccine, but let's talk about one other thing. All these people coming across the border, we don't know whether they're carrying the COVID virus or not.
But it is, don't you think, just a little coincidental that ever since we have been overrun by illegals, all of a sudden we get this new upsurge.
Yeah.
Now, I think a lot more is being made out of the upsurge than really exists, because I still fail to see bodies stacked on street corners.
That's exactly right.
However, you know, they're taking advantage of a rise in numbers.
Yeah.
But you can bet these illegals have a hell of a lot to do with it, because they're flying them all over the country.
Yes.
It's not like they're being contained at the border. They're flying them to the interior of the country.
You know, when they come to these air bases and places they're using to distribute these people around the country, I wonder if we're having upticks by our military men, or our military men actually coming in contact with these people, and who else might it be? Because we don't really know. There's so much that's being done in secret, including our military, who shouldn't be doing it at all.
Now, do we know if the vaccine has been mandated for all military personnel?
No, they don't have. They don't. I don't think it has.
Because the government could.
Yeah. But we'll double check it.
I think it would be interesting to find out.
Go ahead, Napa.
Just today, the NFL come out and told their players that if you're not vaccinated and your team gets quarantined because of COVID, then they're not going to do like they did last year. You're just going to forfeit the game, and they're going to move on. So basically, they're mandating a vaccine for all players this year.
Yeah.
If you want to play, you're going to have a vaccine.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Napa? I'm not going to play. I'm not going to watch the damn mess.
I'm not either.
Yeah, I didn't watch a game last year.
I didn't either.
That makes 3 of us. That's a movement.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't watch baseball.
One thing that concerns me about this coronavirus deal,
Uh-huh.
and all we're hearing is from the media and the government. The thing about it is, this virus has gone worldwide. There's going to be over 100 million people catch this virus. But the truth of the matter is, less than 0.5% are going to die from it.
Right.
That's a fact. I mean, that's what the statistics tell us.
Yeah.
So why in the hell are we worried about it?
Well, that's kind of the same odds as a bad cold,
Yeah.
pneumonia,
Or the flu.
influenza.
It's probably worse odds than the flu.
Yeah. I think I read someplace the other day where actually pneumonia deaths are more than the COVID right now.
Yeah.
But it never gets reported.
But you know, they never talk about the successes of our doctors and our hospitals and that they're having combating the coronavirus. All they do is go out there and find a horror story and start pounding the drums. It's what they do.
Gotta have masks, gotta have vaccines.
Yeah, so this is designed to keep everybody in a panic. Everybody that they can get to be in a panic. And it's designed to, and I do believe everybody's heard me talk about the destruction of the country, because that's exactly what they're doing. I mean, who the hell's in charge? It seems like nobody. The DPS watches as immigrants walk on by. Hey, walk on by. Remember that song? So the immigrants are spreading the love along with COVID. They're spreading the love of the United States along with COVID.
You're talking about them watching them just come across?
Yeah.
My contact in the sheriff's department today was telling me, you can go to all these little border towns that don't have bridges, you know, and there's just thousands of them along the Texas-Mexico border, and New Mexico and Arizona, and the cartels are actually bringing those guys in, those immigrants, victims, whatever you want to call them, bringing them in cattle trucks, and you can sit on our side of the border and see across the river and watch them unload. So you know they're coming.
Yeah.
But they don't, you know, why don't they surge somebody down there to stop them from coming?
That's a good question.
The intelligence that our sheriff's department is getting is costing them $5,000 to get to the border, and then once they get across, it's costing them another $5,000 to get wherever it is they want to go. Now,
right.
My question is, where in the hell are these some bitches getting that kind of money? You know, they tell us, you know, it's a poor country down in Nicaragua and Honduras and Ecuador and all those places, and yet they can come up with $10,000 to get them across the border.
Where the hell is that at? I don't even know where it's at, Napa.
Is it in your pocket?
It's not on
my
mine.
pocket. Wait a minute. Hell, son of a bitch. I thought I'd shut it off.
Well, that
Sorry,
was going to be my
everybody,
next question. My next question was, you could watch him come across the border. Wasn't the 50 caliber machine guns that the DPS got for the boats kind of a waste of money?
Yeah. Hey.
I mean, what the hell did they get the machine guns for?
If you're not willing to pull the trigger,
yeah.
You got it.
Hey, if you saw our picture that we had for the show, let me swing it around here, everybody. Let's look at this, Napa. Here we go. There we go. The DPS boats that they used our motorcycle safety funding to buy, or that's the deal. These things are worthless. These are worthless. So he's got people coming across left and right.
They probably got fishing rods laying on the floor.
Yeah, they probably got a set of skis, you know, so they can ski behind it. So, they're worthless. The DPS is worthless. They're watching these people waltz on in. And so, what the hell? I mean, I wonder what we spend to operate these things. And the drugs are coming in by the tons. And they get around these people. I just don't understand what it is we're doing other than just screwing up the country.
That's true. And maybe Napa was talking about the $5,000 to get there and the $5,000 once you get across.
Yeah.
Maybe the cartel's starting to do the same thing the Chinese did. Because when the Chinese smuggle people into the country, once they hit the country, if they didn't have the cash, they're under bondage for a certain number of years.
Right.
And maybe there's a good number of these illegals that are now mules. They're bringing in fentanyl and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. And from what I understand, Napa, from what I understand, all these 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, they're trained really well. They know what they're doing and where they're going.
Before our society got so soft, you remember a 14, 15-year-old boy was considered a man.
Yeah.
Well, they were talking about these young teenagers actually are either employed by the cartels or by M13.
Uh-huh.
Just saying.
Hey,
Is
look.
there a whole lot of difference between cartels and MS-13?
I really doubt there is.
Well, you can probably put out a contract cheaper with MS-13 than you can with the cartel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems to me one's got all the money.
Yeah.
And so the others are going to do the bidding. Is what's going to happen. The lure of easy big money. It corrupts the people. It corrupts police departments, law enforcement, and just about everything it touches.
Politicians,
yeah. I do believe that probably the Bidens are benefiting off this somehow. Just my opinion off of what we've seen so far of his family business, which is selling access. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on there. Not to mention that the politicians that are benefiting off of drugs, selling influence, and the list runs on, and selling out this country. That's the way I see it. So, man. You guys, Fuaci was fighting the other day with Rand Paul, and I do believe that was by design. He's trying to make it look as if that Rand Paul is the liar in all this, when we know there's a paper trail that can be followed of what Dr. Fuaci has done. And so, the NIH was funding that lab with no controls over it. Now, Fauci can say all day long that, hey, they weren't doing the gain of function. But that's exactly what they were doing. And so, there's no way, once that money leaves the NIH, the Chinese can do whatever they want with it. And it was millions of dollars. And it's in my book Dr. Fauci is in serious trouble. Number one, he's lied before Congress, which I don't know. Something may happen or may not. But number two, they're all responsible for the deaths of millions of people. And I just don't know how you walk away from that. I think he could probably help himself and say, yeah, we gave them money, but we didn't know they were doing that. You know, why he doesn't own it. Because he should. But he's going to continue to lie until we have him. And you know what I mean? Somebody actually prosecutes him. So we'll see what happens here. You know, it's in my belief that the Chinese are responsible for all this, the spread of the COVID virus by doing gain of function research.
Who knows what the hell else they got in that lab?
You know what? We don't even know if they released it on purpose. Go ahead, NAPA.
They may have something a whole lot worse sitting there being developed.
They may, and we should make every effort to find out, keep track of them and find out what it is. Quit funding them. Go ahead.
Where's the closest Hellfire missile?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah. Hey, here's something interesting.
Don't want us in the South China Sea.
Yeah. Here's something interesting, guys. This what's going on in San Francisco. And let me play this for you. Let me turn the cube and we'll play it. Here we go.
Every single day, over and over and over again.
They're literally just taking it from the store. They're taking it, grabbing it, and running.
I mean, you don't feel safe.
I've been in this Bay Area 20 years. I've never seen this.
When I was made aware of the numbers, particularly in San Francisco, it blows your mind away.
The problem has only gotten worse.
We're talking multi-millions of dollars that are being stolen, and this money then in turn is being used by crime syndicates, both in the US and in other countries, to fund some really bad activities.
We're not talking about just one or two items that someone might need to get by. Our investigations have shown that there are organized fences where people are selling these products that they steal.
This is the one that we had to close down, and the bottom window is now boarded up because someone broke into our store one night.
A guy come and just grab anything that he can get.
I work in retail, so I see it all the time.
We overlook a lot of the shops, and we always see shoplifting happen.
It's just lawlessness. People are just openly just coming in and stealing stuff. People that you would never even would suspect.
It's definitely gotten a lot more aggressive over the last couple of years. People are very, very bold in their shoplifting tactics is what we've seen recently.
Now it seems so open and brazen.
They casually come in, grab what they need, and walk out.
This has been going on for a year and a half now. It's really bad.
There's obviously been more of it the past year.
It's just getting worse and worse.
It's crazy. It's getting bad.
Especially along the pier. Like, people don't want to leave their stuff out because they're afraid somebody's going to snatch it and grab it. You know, these people is hardworking people. They've been here for years. A lot of shops had to close during the pandemic. So to try to reopen and get back on track is hard, you know, and they're afraid.
We have sometimes like potentials posted in the front of the store or just waiting in the alleyway. So it's kind of on and off. You do have good days, and sometimes you unfortunately have some bad days.
She manages Dior. We just
You know, guys, you hear that and you hear those people saying, well, people are just afraid. People are just afraid. This is part of it. That's what they want you scared. They want you scared to go out, whether it be because of the pandemic, because of maybe some illegal aliens out there who haven't appeared yet.
And they tend to operate in numbers.
Yeah, they do.
However, an interesting thing, Amy and I went to the grocery store the other day. It was a local Walmart neighborhood market. And we're there at the deli counter getting some sliced ham, which is right by the exit door. And hauling ass out through the door is a woman with a shopping cart just loaded with food. Nothing's in bags.
Yeah.
And the store employees were in pursuit. Now, she didn't get the opportunity to load the stuff in the car, but you would think they would have detained her and called the police, but no, they didn't do that. They let her go. So once again, no consequences.
Right.
Other than she didn't get what she came for.
Right. A basket full of food.
I see an opportunity, especially out in California, where they're not prosecuting anybody anyway. Hire you a bunch of bikers as guards. They don't have to be armed. They can just carry some nightsticks or whatever. They just beat the hell out of them people. They're not going to get arrested anyway. That might put a stop to it.
Yeah, well, you know, they said, we heard this evening that Newsom is slipping even more. And so it looks like his days may be numbered.
But you're right. You know, back in the day when they were having all the Vietnam anti-war demonstrations, Sonny Barger and Hell's Angels used to just raise hell. As a matter of fact, those Oakland cops would kind of turn their back when Sonny would show up with his crew, and they'd wade into the crowd and just beat the living hell out of them. And then they'd usher them away.
Yeah.
But that's a great idea. I don't know if it would float today, but yeah, you can bet there are several biker groups that would love to get involved in that.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we have a country of wussyism now, and a country full of people that's waiting for somebody else to do the heavy lifting. I don't have time for that. Oh, isn't it horrible what's going on? I don't have time for that. Go ahead, Napa.
At my age, I'm not worried about some guy with a man bun.
Yeah. I mean, so, yeah, I mean, it's just what we're seeing is just so outrageous. It's just so outrageous. It's maddening. And it seems like the country's falling apart at every end, except for a few people that are trying to hang on. And you know, there's always the doers, and then there's always the people that are just going to sit in the boat. And they're going to have to learn that if they want a country, a republic, instead of the hell that's fixing to come at us, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Mail watches the market every day. OG does. And the continued spending of just trillions of dollars, and the fact that you're loading the country up with immigrants that have to be taken care of, or I say have to be. No, they don't have to be. This shouldn't be happening. But they're going to give them free health care. They're going to give them money to operate on. They're going to give them free housing. They're already talking about it. They were talking about the other morning when the Pentagon was mentioning there's going to be more bases participating in storing these people for a few weeks, months, no telling how long. And then they're going to be shuffled off around the country in secrecy to where we do not know. This is maddening. And, I always say, OD, they don't have to follow a unlawful order. And this is truly an unlawful order when you're ordering the military to participate in the demise of the country. And, of course, there are always people in the officers' corps that never has a shortage of Democrats who are willing to kiss ass to gain favor and rank.
Well, if you think about this, like the CIA is not supposed to operate on U.S. soil.
That's right.
Correct? Our military troops, unlike the National Guard, are not supposed to be involved in civilian affairs on this soil.
That's right.
So what the hell are they doing housing illegal aliens that are crossing into the border, which is definitely a civilian affair in this country?
Yeah.
So you're right. Somebody's got to be in violation of some statute involving the U.S. military in getting involved in this. I could see U.S. military troops at the border.
Yeah.
Guarding against people entering the country.
We're being overrun, is what it is.
Yeah.
And for political reasons. This is not for people seeking a better life. I realize that many are doing that. But many are coming here for free shit. That's why they're coming.
Well, they're counting on how H.R. 1 passes and the federal government taking over the elections. But things seem to be changing because the Pennsylvania governor today backed up, where he's a Democrat. He was all against voter ID, and he's taking a step back now, and he's saying, okay, voter ID is probably okay, because he's seeing the polls where over 70% of the Americans, both sides of the aisle, want voter ID.
Yeah.
So the Pennsylvania governor's backed up. So things may be starting to change a little bit.
Well,
not going to change a lot.
They need to change in a hurry, and Republicans need to learn how to frickin' fight.
You were talking about Gavin out in California. He's going to get recalled, and let's say they get a Republican in there. He's still got a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate in California, so really how much can he
Hey,
do?
we got to show them the writing on the wall in 2022. Is what we have to do. As far as I'm concerned, you can send all those immigrants to California because it's a lost cause anyway. But then again, just maybe there's a crack in the wall.
Yep.
Everybody's. We do have to believe, everybody, that the great silent majority is out there watching. They're not ever very boisterous, but they're watching. And they're not liking what the hell they're seeing. They're not liking the price they're paying at the pump. And they're not liking seeing our country just going to hell. And really, that's what it is. By politicians and evildoers. And we've got to quit listening to these fat cats that are trying to rule everybody. all these rich people. We got to take control of this. We really do. And we better be really, really ready when we elect this next round of people. You give them one strike. One strike. And if they're not doing what they said they would do, you get rid of them. Don't keep them around. Get rid of their asses.
You're precisely right.
Yeah. And today I did endorse Susan Wright for Congressional District 6. And over the next few days, I'll be going over why I made that choice. As you know, I didn't like the either choice, but I damn sure don't like the 20 other Democrats that are running, because most are crazies. But in this case, I am going with America First.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you right now, one of the reasons is because Mr. Elsie refused to go on a local talk show. And that local talk show said the reason he doesn't want to come on because he don't want to answer any questions about Donald Trump and America First. If they're not publicly saying America First, I don't have anything to do with them, military or not. And you know, him taking his picture of himself, you know, in an F-18 and wearing his white uniform,
saluting.
Yeah, saluting. You know, that doesn't impress me. And I'm a military man. So is OG. And so are you, NAPA.
Yep.
So just because they're wearing a uniform, and especially an officer's uniform, because, you know, I'll show you something here. I think that kind of interesting. Let me see. Where's that go? Well, heck, I lost all my pictures. Anyway, I was going to show you a picture of me back in the day, and I guarantee you I worked a lot harder than he did.
Well, you weren't an officer.
I know. I was a worker bee. And they've been all around the world. And OG could tell you some hair-raising stories. But I mean, you know, it's like I said, I'm not going to vote for him just because he's a military guy. You know, Ted Cruz has been into our office. And so have a lot of other people. We've gone and talked to them. And we'll be doing that as we go along here, as we head toward 2022. So, you know, get ready, everybody. Huffines we've been to his office. He's been to our facilities and talked to us. And he was always square by us. Now, somebody brought up something the other day. He may not have. We're going to have to check that out. But we will surely at some point ask him about it. But it's all about, you know, it's all about trying to pick the best way you can to pick who you're going to vote for. So anyway, OG, you got anything you want to add there? We've been on 49 minutes.
No,
wait a minute.
Not really. It's you know, it's generally still a mess. It'll continue to be a mess. I know a lot of us are hoping big things are going to happen in August when they release the information on the audits. But even if it doesn't happen, we have to be prepared to fight and to make sure we vote and to make sure we keep promoting those that need to get into office, and we need to get rid of all those that are currently in office that sure as hell shouldn't be there, especially the plane load that went to D.C.
Oh yeah, that bunch. That would be.
Yep.
That would be this bunch.
Now, we posted all of their names on Texas Biker Radio.
Yeah. So, this bunch here that flies up there, and you know, they claim they were vaccinated. They claim they now they've got the COVID. And what we're hearing now is you know, somebody's lying big time, whether they had the COVID or not, whether they're trying to hang around in D.C. Now, what we do understand today, OG, I heard that what's his name? Bezos? No, Betos. The one here in El Paso. What's his name? Betos?
Beto
O'Rourke.
Yeah, Beto O'Rourke. Yeah, we did hear today that he sent them $600,000 to stay there in D.C.
Now, where the hell did he get $600,000?
I think he's
from his campaign fund.
Yeah, campaign funds, probably. You know, I think her family is rich.
Yep.
I guess by some stretch of the imagination, he can legally do that.
Yeah, because he's giving it to another political guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on what kind of political pack he has, and what we're hearing right now, the reason Trump hadn't announced his 2024 run, and yes, I'm saying 2024 run, one of the reasons he has not announced is because of campaign rules, campaign finance rules. In other words, PACs. So he can't spend any of that money, he can't announce, he can't do anything until 2022. So you won't hear him announcing a 2024 run. Do what, Napa?
He can raise a lot of money right now for other people that he supports.
Well, as it stands right now, he's got about $100 million in a pack.
Yeah.
So, but you know, the Democrats can probably raise 2 times that much with all the rich crazies they have on their side. I mean, like I said, we've got to quit listening to these fat cats like Gates, like Bezos, who just had a victory in the flying penis. I mean, hey, let me tell you, Napa, I'm proud for Van Horn, man. I really am. Have you ever seen?
It's really helped that town if you can get a job with them.
Yeah.
Because most of those people come from somewhere else. Very few of them come from Van Horn.
So they're coming in from New Mexico, probably.
The ones that are working there are coming in from New York, Houston, and everywhere else. I mean, they're not locals. You know, you might have some locals that are doing groundskeeper work or something like that, but the majority of those people is, the true rocket scientists that are working on that stuff. They're from everywhere else.
Well, I know their main base is in New Mexico.
Not Bezos, no.
I'm not talking about Bezos. I'm talking about Bezos has nothing to do with Blue Origin. I'm talking about the company itself that builds those spaceships.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, they're out. I'll have it ready for the next deal because we may have to come out there and demand they hire locals.
That'd be good.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just push their stuff back on them. That's what I'm saying, everybody. But hey, we'll be having news come out about the Milam County rally. That's going to be coming out pretty quick. We've got everything solidified. I'll be traveling to Killeen tomorrow night to speak to a group down there, and so at the American Legion. So yeah, we're moving forward. We're moving forward, and we're gonna move forward on all this other stuff too. Get out there and raise a little hell and see what we can do, spike some interest. And we don't want to keep doing the same stuff over and over and over. But I will tell you that I do not believe that, well, I'm not even going to say it. No, what we're going to do is we'll see what happens here in August. This ought to be really, really interesting. It's going to really tell us a lot about where this country is headed. It really is. Because the news is going to come out. And let me tell you, you guys, I'm surprised we're still on YouTube. I'm shocked. But then again, they're after the big guys. Is what they're after. They're after the big guys with a lot of numbers. So I do believe they are basically ignoring us. But we may turn around and get canceled tomorrow and kill that theory. Napa, you got anything you want to close with, buddy?
Yeah, I got a new body count for you. They found 3 more bodies in the desert this week. So that means since January in Culberson and Hudspeth County, the 2 westernmost counties except for El Paso, since January they found 28 illegal migrants dead in the desert from exposure.
Dang. Can we come out there and get some pictures of that?
I sent you some pictures on Facebook, Popeye.
Okay, I'll look for it. Sorry about that. Let me tell you, I get so much stuff, you wouldn't believe it. Every time I go in and we have all these people we're approving for these programs, and our numbers don't climb because they're messing with us. They really are. And so, but when I log on and I go look at all these requests and everything, and all these women are sending me all these glamour shots. I like big boobies and everything else, but I mean, I have to guard against people that are trying to scam bikers. I just really do, because there's so many of them out there doing it. And so, I have to be careful of that. I have to be careful of people that are trolls, that are trying to just cause hell. So I spend a good portion of every morning going through that crap. So yeah, I'll miss some stuff. I do, because I get frustrated with it, and I got to go do something else. Lisa Lee, I know you're a darling. I know. But and it's really hard to sometimes distinguish who's real and who's not. Then again, sometimes it's really easy to figure out somebody, hey, that's one of us. COG, got to mess with that. I'm gonna have him do some of it.
I've gotten rid of my fair share. Trust me. First clue is joined Facebook within the last week.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No friends, no pictures. Yeah, those are pretty easy. No posts. Just, yeah.
Just cleavage.
Just cleavage.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we could start a show, call it Just Cleavage.
Leave it to cleavage.
Yeah. And Artie Rides, you're right. He's saying that the sad thing is so many people are being fooled by the news media and the Democratic Party. You're so right. You're so right. We were talking about that tonight at dinner, about how many young people are just, they're doing just the goofiest things. You know, and we were talking about, you know, what was it? We were talking about the, where they believe in astrology.
Astrology, yes.
Yeah.
What's your sign?
Yeah. What's your sign and all this stuff. And they really, you know, they really believe it. I got a sister-in-law that breaks it. When she goes to eat, she breaks out some little triangle thing and does it over her food. Then I forget who it was that was with us, told her, oh, do mine too.
I think that was you.
What I did, I said, what the hell is that? I mean, come on, everybody. Come on. With that, I know it's been kind of goofy tonight, but hey, sometimes we get that way. Bounce around.
We still love y'all.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And we have a good time every time we get together. And so,
thanks for being with us, NAPA.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And if you don't have a motorcycle, buy one. Come ride with us. We can always use some new recruits. Right, NAPA?
Definitely.
Absolutely. Anytime.
NAPA is our West Texas president, chapter president, and NAPA is our guy that's looking out at the border. And I'm now going to go look on Facebook for those bodies. Talk to you later, everybody. Good night, NAPA.
Good night.
Good night. See you later.